I'd say really the hardest moment or the most defining moment in my life, I mean, absolutely, hands down, would be when I lost my mother when I was younger. I was 10 years old, and I came home from school. My parents were fighting, so I remember I went and laid down, took a nap, and then I woke up and I walked around the corner. My mother had committed suicide in our bathroom, and I knew from that point on, everything from this point on is going to be going to feel impossible. My stepdad specifically, he just kind of fell apart. Drugs, alcohol, whatever it was that he needed to just cope. He had no self-control when it came to, those kind of things. Because he was just, a lot of anger and a lot of sadness and a lot of stuff that he just never got fixed. And just took it out on us. And it got to a point where we started playing, sports or doing any extracurriculars, activities. We read a lot, so we would go to the libraries a lot. We just did anything we could to not be home. I guess my biological father was pretty good at basketball. And so my mom always just thought, for whatever, she's like, he'll transfer, and he's just like, Daniel's gonna be good, he's gonna be good. And so she was always in my ear as a kid. I still remember that. Like if I was at the park, first time I started being able to go between my legs and stuff, my mom thought it was the coolest thing ever. She's like, I told you. And if you really love it and you want to play it at a high level, you have to come under some control of your emotions and your feelings when you're playing it. And that became like a saving grace for me, because there was I didn't have to think, I didn't have to worry about him. I walked, however far I needed to walk away from our house with a ball, and I found a basketball court, and I would just breathe and find peace. So it was my freshman year of high school. I was removed from the home, and then about 24 hours later, my brothers were removed from the home. They looked for different placements for me, and finally I ended up at Coyote Hill. Jamie and Charlie were our house parents. I got to know them, and they got to know my story, and I told them everything. And we just created a really, really strong bond. Honestly, we just had a really great bond the whole time I was there. Sometimes they just sit me down and be like, "Are you okay?" And I don't know if I'd ever been asked that before. I don't know if anybody had sat me down and was like, "Hey, are you really okay?" And not coming from a place of they just want to know. They just really want to see me be okay. It's one of my favorite quotes. You'll never learn to be a man until you see a man. And that Charlie was the greatest example of that, of literally, no, I'm going to put time into my kids' relationship. I'm going to put time into my relationship with my kids, because my relationship with my kids matter. And I want that to last forever. I want, I decided right then and there, whenever I'd seen that and whenever I saw how he was responding with his kids, that's how I was going to interact with my kids.
So what I love most about Daniel is how caring and compassionate he is, and how active he is in my life and the kids' life. It's just, he has the biggest heart ever. He just wants to see the best for everybody. And so I feel like if he hadn't went to Coyote Hill and seen how to love and how to be there, he probably wouldn't be who he is today, for sure. And I feel like his faith is one of the most important things, for sure. He believes hard, and I think that is what helps him get up every single day and to keep going through everything, because his past is going to stay with him forever. It's something that's not ever going to go away. And so I feel like if he didn't have his faith, again, our life would be completely different than what it is right now. We wouldn't be here today. We wouldn't have our home. I honestly don't know where we would be, but it definitely would be completely different than what it is right now, for sure.
So when I got to Coyote Hill, I wasn't a believer, and they never pushed me about my faith. They said, "Hey, when we go to church here, so you got to go to church." But it's I don't care if you listen to a word they say. I don't care if you sleep. I don't care what you do. You just have to go. But the more that I got involved and I was around these people, and they were just helping other people. They were just helping, and they were loving, and they were trying to just help other people for no agenda. And as a kid that comes from where I come from, you're always looking to see who are the pretenders and who are the people that are really trying to help people. And that was the first time in my life that I stopped hurting, so intensely. because I had never had a place or, I had never had a moment of like solace, a moment of just relief. And when I came to the realization that I have a Heavenly Father that for some reason has blessed me with all of these things and all of these tools and resources that I need to be successful, for no other reason that He loves me unconditionally. And that faith is it makes people and kids like me be able to do whatever they want to do. And I really believe God has called me here to influence people, to love more, to care more, to just be better people. I guess I wanted to find a way to speak more towards like how I had seen other foster homes and how Coyote Hill was just something that they needed. Was just something that those kids had never ever seen. And the sad part of it is for some of them it was just too late. That's just a feeling, man, that nobody understands. If you haven't been there, you just can't understand it. And to just know how low we feel, like especially as a teenager in care, people I think need to hear that, because I think if you knew how those kids felt, you do everything you could to make sure that they're not feeling that way anymore.